So this is a short video to introduce the snapping tools in Maya. So when we create objects in 3D space, we want them to line up. For example, we want this wall to line up with the other wall. And if we move it out of alignment slightly, we can move it back into position, but it's always going to be difficult to line it up accurately with the other objects in the scene. And we want complete accuracy so that all the vertices line up without any gaps between them. So what we do is we grid snap it. We snap it to the grid. And to do that, you hold down the X key and then manipulate these controls here. So what I can do is line this up holding down the X key so that it snaps to the grid like that. And I can do the same thing with this one here. If I move that out of the way for some reason, I can hold it down using the X key and snap it back into place. And I can also rotate it. You can see that it's slightly out of alignment in the rotation here. Now obviously I can change that here in the channel box by just simply typing 90, and that will rotate it back into position. But let's just, if I just undo that by hitting Z, I can also do a rotate snap, which if I go to the rotate tool here, if I hold down the J key, I can rotate snap that to the grid. So I can snap it like this, or like that, or indeed holding down J, snap it this way. Oh, it's not working for some reason. These tools are a little bit fiddly and they take a little while to get used to. But in theory, if you hold down J, it should rotate snap, and it's not doing it for some reason. Let me try going into a different tool and then trying it again. Yep, okay, now it's doing it again. And you can always tidy things up here just by typing 90 here, and then you know that the positioning of these objects is completely accurate. Now that's the grid snap X and rotate snap J, and there's also another kind of snapping called vertex snapping, where you can snap objects to vertices. Let's say, for example, we wanted to move the pivot point of this table so that it didn't pivot from the center but pivoted at the top of the object. I can press the Insert key, and holding down V with my keyboard, I can vertex snap this so that it snaps to the top of the vertices at the top of the table. Then if I press Insert again, I've now got the pivot point of the table at the top. And I know it's absolutely at the top because I've snapped it to the vertices at the top of the table. In order to take yourself out of pivot point mode, if you press Insert, you're in pivot point mode, and then if you press Insert again, you're out of pivot point mode. So those are the three basic kinds of snapping in Maya. X to snap to the grid, J to snap in a rotation, and V to snap to vertices.